Hello and welcome to your first lesson on getcrackingguitar.com. In this lesson I'm going to cover some of the basics. If you're completely new to the guitar, you might find there's a lot of information here. It might be a bit overwhelming, but don't worry, you can click on the resources tab for this lesson on the site and you can find whatever information you need to go back over on that. Now the first thing I'm going to talk about is the parts of the guitar. We'll be referring to parts of the guitar throughout lessons and you need to know the specific terms. From here up, that's known as the head, then we've got the neck and we've got the body. So let's look at the head first. The strings are attached to the to tuning pegs on the head, and we adjust the tension in the strings and raise the pitch or lower the pitch with the tuning pegs. This little white section here is known as the nut, and that lifts the strings off the fretboard so that the strings will ring properly. Okay, this is the neck, and the fretboard, you can see, runs from here to here, divided by thin metal strips. So this would be the first fret, this would be the second fret, third fret, fourth fret, fifth fret, and so on. Now on most guitars there's a dot or two dots in places on the top of the neck so that the guitarist can know quickly where to go. So if I need to go to the 7th fret, here I am. The dot tells me. The 5th fret is here. There's a double dot on the 12th fret. So once you get familiar with those, it'll be a big help to you. Let's move to this end of the guitar. We've got the sound hole, and that's what generates the sound, the hollow body of the guitar. And here we have the strings anchored with these pegs, and this is the bridge. This is known as the bridge, and that's really that, I think. We have 6 strings. You can also have a 12-string guitar, but this is a typical 6 string guitar, and the 6 strings are named as follows, starting with the string nearest your face. The top string is E, then we've got A, D, G, B and E also, so the 6th and the 1st are both E. Now a good way to remember that is elephants and donkeys grow big ears. Elephants and donkeys grow big ears. E, A, D, G, B, E. The strings are numbered, and they're numbered starting with the thinnest string. That's their first string, the string nearest the floor. So you've got first string, second string, which is B, third string, fourth string, fifth string and sixth string. Sixth string is the one nearest your face. So it's important to know those numbers. You'll get very familiar with them as the lessons go on. The other numbers you need to be familiar with are the numbers of your fingers. Your index finger is known as your first finger for fretting purposes. So if we say put your first finger on the 2nd fret, 2nd string, you'll go to here. Your middle finger is your 2nd finger, your ring finger is your 3rd finger, and your little finger, or your pinky as it's sometimes called, is known as your 4th finger. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th fingers. Hand position for your left hand, generally you put your thumb behind the 1st fret, in or around there. You crook your fingers so that they can press the strings with the tips of your fingers and allow the strings to ring out. Now we'll look at that again in the next lesson. But if you have shorter fingers, you'll have to push your hand around a bit more. If you have long fingers, we'll see more of your thumb. This right hand, your strumming hand or your picking hand, generally you'll rest your arm on the curved part here. Your hand should be over the sound hole, and you can rest, people rest their wrists here on the bridge, but if you do that, you've got to make sure that you don't hit the strings, because if you do, you'll deaden the strings. So if you just listen, this is my hand on the strings, this is my hand off the strings. Holding the guitar, rest the curved part of the guitar here. Keep the neck parallel with the ground, slightly raised, depends on preference. Don't dip it down too much, or don't have it too high. Keep the body of the guitar against your chest. Try not to slope it out this way to see what you're doing, because if that happens, your fretting hand has to come around even more. Very awkward. So that's the correct position. The strings we know are E, A, D, G, B, E. The most important part of learning to play the guitar is to tune the guitar properly. You need to tune that sixth string to E, because if it's not tuned properly, no matter how you finger the chords, you're not going to get the sound you want. So you've got to tune it. Now, how do we tune the guitar? For a complete beginner, I would suggest buy an electronic tuner. I have an example of one here. Inexpensive. What this tuner does is it clips on here, clips onto the end of your guitar. Then I'll just turn it on for you here, if the battery is working. And as you pick a string, the screen will light up. If it's red, it means that you're a bit sharp or a bit flat. It means you have to tune the string up or down. If it's blue, so my E string here is in tune. E comes up on the screen. If I pick the A string, A comes up on the screen. Red means it's a little bit flat in this case. Blue means it's in tune. So that definitely is the best way to go for a complete beginner. You can download an app for your phone or tablet. There's a variety, huge variety, free available. You can tune, you can see I have a keyboard here beside me. You can tune from the keyboard. If you have some experience of music, this will be much easier for you. So the first string is, we go to the first string, which is the one, the high string, well, the string nearest the floor but the highest in pitch. So you play the note on the keyboard, find E, then you find B on the keyboard and check your second string, and you might have to adjust the tuning peg slightly. The next thing I want to talk about is your pick or your plectrum. That's what I have in my hand here, and these vary in thickness, which obviously makes them, they'll bend easier. They can be soft or they can be hard, where they won't bend at all. It depends on what style of guitar playing you want it for. Starting off, I would suggest get a soft pick. Get a selection of them when you're buying them. They're not expensive and they'll get lost easily. Holding the pick, there are some different ways of holding it, but generally speaking this is fairly standard. Your thumb and the pick, the point of the pick, are perpendicular. Not too much of the pick is protruding, and the pick is caught between your thumb, the pad of your thumb, and this part of your first finger. Now just try a simple exercise. to show you how to fret with your fretting hand, with your left hand. Again, like I said, crook your finger knuckles have to be bent. You're going to be pressing with the tip of your finger, so you have to keep the nails on your left hand cut short. If you don't press with the tip of your finger, you're going to get a poor sound. You're going to deaden some other strings. So let's just try playing the first string, playing it with no fingering. That means you're playing it open. Then put your first finger, crook it, put your fingertip on the first fret, and when you're playing notes like this, keep your finger towards the fret mark, not back here, so in between the middle and forward. Try your second finger then on the next fret. Again, don't keep it too near the head side of the fret, or you might get that dead sound. Keep it in the middle or slightly towards the body of the guitar. Third finger, crook your finger again, fingertip. Make sure you get a nice clean sound. You could try your pinky then, your little finger. That's going to be more difficult. So open, first, second, third, fourth. If you're getting those sounds and those notes to ring out clearly, you're well on your way. Your fingertips are going to get very sore, and that's a real test of whether you want to learn the guitar or not. If they get sore when you're practicing, leave it, come back to it later,